So it's my pleasure to invite you guys to listen, to take notes, to really dig in on our business overview with Mr. Rob Purley.
I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate that so much. Look, so fired up. We got great numbers here today. We got the best of the best. We got our key leaders. We got our agency owners. We got directors. We've got vice presidents. We got new agents as well. This is going to be fun. And if the American dream is supposed to be life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which we know really means health, wealth, and fulfillment, then the question should really be, why not Symmetry, right? No more 60-hour work weeks, bringing it home with you each night, walking around somebody else's office where you've decided to quit but stay. A turnkey business model that, when worked, works 100% of the time. A culture of strong values like relationships matter, people come first, and relentless pursuit of personal growth. Time and money freedom, also known as 21st century wealth. See, that's our value proposition. Support, where relationships that are simply too strong and resources that are best in class in an industry that has lasted through Civil War, World Wars, Great Depression, Great Recession, and now COVID-19. All that to say nothing of the unshakable fulfillment that has always and will always be supernaturally connected to that feeling of radical generosity. My name is Rob Purley. I am direct to Colin Gillum, who is direct to Brian Delaney, who is direct to Edward Pritchett and Symmetry Financial Group. And to echo Brian's statements, I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season. Okay, I'm going to tell you our story. For the next 20 to 30 minutes, I'm going to tell you our story because we know that the recipe for building the kind of buzz that we're chasing, okay, the kind of buzz that we're chasing requires the perfect combination of demonstration and explanation. Okay, it's going to be about me trying to answer the question of why. If you're looking at us for the first time, the question is, why should I join this company? If you're already with us, the question is, why should I be excited to work here in 2021? This slide is important for one simple reason, Brian. It's because we know that nobody cares what a brand has to say about itself, right? So look, the way to get startup ideas is to look for problems, preferably problems that you have yourself. And there is a name for a person who creates something purely out of passion. They are a hobbyist. There is a name for a person who creates something out of a passion that solves a problem that only they have. We call them tinkerers, okay? And then there is a name for a person who creates something out of a passion, okay, that also solves a problem that they share with other people. And in our case, Brandon Ellison, Casey Watkins, and Brian Pope, that is their name. See, the problem in the insurance industry is that for all the people that have insurance policies, they don't have an advocate to go along with them, right? Because that advocate is out of business. See, the average income is $35,000 a year, and the average lifespan of an insurance agent is about 10 to 11 months. I know that is true because I was that stat before I came here 3.5 years ago. So those people making the promises of, I will help you when this time comes, they are unable to fulfill those promises because they're no longer here. They're no longer there. That's the problem that Symmetry is here and set up to solve. And we know that all companies that make it follow the same particular arc. There is this absence of something that evolves from a minor inconvenience in one's life to a real world problem that, in our founders' estimation, needed to be solved. And they had an idea for how to do it. So let's dive in. Quility, our new digital platform that empowers our agents. Make sure you catch that. Empowers our agents, not replaces them, but empowers them to help even more families, backed by more than 4,000 of us across the country. We created Quility simply to meet our clients where they are, providing the power of choice and how they prefer to shop and purchase protection. So whether it's through a video consultation or our online application, our goal is to provide simplicity and choice every step of the way. Our space, it's mortgage protection, it's retirement solutions, and it's debt elimination. Mortgages at a time when rates have never been lower. Retirement protection at a time when the market continues its volatile swing pending the lasting effects of COVID-19. And debt, that financial cancer that millions of Americans are shouldering. Medicare, 10,000 people turning 65 every day. Long-term care, disability. As I like to say, this is not lotions and potions and pills, powders, or purses. Symmetry, 11 years old. 11 years old. And so we leverage the reputation of companies like Mutual of Omaha, who recently celebrated their 110th year, or John Hancock, a firm that launched in 1862. These companies bring financial strength and brand awareness to the table. Symmetry brings a disciplined sales system led by some of the best people in the industry. See, captive agents have a responsibility. They have a responsibility to represent their company to their client. Our model allows us to represent our client to the market. It's the difference between sitting across the table from someone and sitting right next to them. Is there a need for our product? Look, it's no secret that the leading story in the news for the last 10 months is the number of people dying in this country, as well as the unemployment rate and the future of healthcare. 7 out of 10 households relying on 2 income. 53% of foreclosures caused by death or disability. The average funeral cost, $10,000. And here's that hockey stick growth, year over year, which we'll be proud to show our numbers for 2020 as well soon. A year that during a worldwide pandemic, you'll see Symmetry's numbers eclipsing theirs from the year before. Capacity in future markets. Here's a snapshot, $398 million in total premium, $30 billion in face amount. Brandon, Casey, and Brian designed this thing for a capacity to do $2.35 billion. This year, we're going to eclipse $125 million. Understand, 5.32%. What's that mean? We're just getting started. So here's the owner's track. Symmetry's flagship path, available for those willing to become a leader worth following. And requirements include, but are not limited to these things: self-awareness, willingness to change, desire for accountability. It's for those that bring people, teams, and organizations to life. The producer track, equipped with best-in-class training, digital tools, and the most affordable leads in the industry. This is ideal for the career agent. And here, our owner plus producer. It's a 3-year plan to $250,000 a year. A plan where you go first. You climb the mountain. You learn how to lead yourself, all the while learning the technical aspects of leading, from communication to performance management to alignment and execution. So how do we find our clients? Let's talk about leads. Symmetry currently generates 10,000 leads every week, with over 1 million of them in inventory right now. A lot of people, myself included, we came for the leads, we stayed for the leadership. How do we find our clients? You can see here on the screen through these different networks. Online, direct mail, agent support, our roadmaps to success with our proprietary sales system, our CMR, marketing, recruiting assistance, as well as our ongoing support. Industry-leading InsurTech tools, okay? The Owner Circle, Virtual Assistant, Virtual Mentor, as well as Power Dialer. We hang our hat on the fact that we believe that over the next 2 to 3 years, Symmetry Financial Group, Quility, will be in lockstep when folks talk about the value of InsurTech in the marketplace. QMS, our Quality Member Services, where Symmetry agents receive the support of a team of certified agents that are highly trained in advanced market sales, designed specifically to drive ongoing engagement to forge long-lasting relationships with our clients and create massive passive income for the agent. So how do we support our agents? Let's talk about these 4 initiatives real quick. This is probably one of my favorite parts. Okay. See, at our core, we're nothing more than a personal restoration and a leadership development company that drives profit in the life insurance sector. Okay. If we take a look here at this our very first initiative here on the left, our very first initiative there on the left is the Connect initiative. Okay. All 4 of these actually initiatives that Brian, Casey, and Brandon have invested their money back into the agent force. Because at Symmetry Financial Group, agent first, client second, company third. Agent first, client second, company third. That's not just unique in the insurance space, folks, but that's unique in the business space in general. A place where it's people first, profit second. So we're looking at this Connect initiative designed for women because Brandon and Casey knew that women are fantastic in the roles that are the most profitable here. See, we've all heard Brian say this before regarding his country club analogy. He says, if country clubs were filled with the hardest working people, they'd be filled with mothers and ditch diggers. Sometimes I think women get the secret. See, they know that work is nothing more than a loyal friend, not a passionate lover. They're empathetic listeners. I'm almost 39 and I still call my mom from time to time because I'll know she'll listen. And they also bring humility. It's fair to say that their ego shadow is not nearly as long. Connect was designed to be a platform for industry-leading women to lead other leaders because we know that multiplication, which leads to a movement. And we don't have but we don't have an inequality issue here. See, everyone starts at the same spot, everybody. In the top right-hand corner there is Thrive. See, what we know here is that companies don't grow, people grow. And growing people grow companies. If you cannot lead yourself, there's absolutely no way that you can lead other people. That seems to make sense, but that's so foreign to so many people. It reminds me of a story of all these executives sitting around a table and they're talking about spending money on their people, on developing them. And the CFO says, well, why would we spend all our money on our people if they might go somewhere else eventually? Right? And you can almost see Brandon or Casey sitting at that table saying, what if we don't spend the money on our people and they stay? In the bottom right-hand corner is Giant, okay? A leadership enhancement company that partners with us, a leadership development organization. Brandon, Casey, and Brian knew that sometimes the most impenetrable walls are simply made of flesh. And then in the bottom left-hand corner is our Agency Owner Academy. It's that acknowledgement for those that have crossed the bridge. Here's what they don't teach you about in school in regards to what is called the universal income formula. See, the greater the need for what you do, plus how well you do it, plus the difficulty in replacing you, plus how many people you serve. That's the universal income formula. And the Agency Owner Academy, in some regards, is designed to help leaders understand that if your outgo exceeds your income, then your upkeep will always be your downfall. All right. Now, there's something about the business. Let's talk about how you get paid, because I'm going to assume that if you're taking a peek at us for the first time, you aren't interested in the volunteer position. Part-time and full-time positions, 70% commission, all the way up to 120% commission, as well as our bonuses. Okay. And so let's start right here with our part-time agent. Okay. The best paying part-time opportunity in this country. We allow, and frankly, on our team, we encourage folks to stay in their real jobs until their business here demands more time than they can spare. If I could use my Ayers Newsom voice, did you know Damon John, the founder of FUBU, 40 hours a week at Red Lobster, 6 hours a week building FUBU. Then it was 30 hours and 20 hours until it demanded too much of his time. Phil Knight, Nike, CPA for 5 years while he built Nike on the side. Herb Kelleher, 14 years practicing law while building Southwest Airlines. And all three of them said the same thing. They said that methodology gave their business a runway to take off. But, and this is a big one. See, having a fallback plan does not mean you are building an escape hatch for your dream. It's not an excuse not to try hard, nor is it a ready-made reason to quit. It just means you've given yourself a cushion at the bottom of your entrepreneurial leap of faith so that if you do crash, you can bounce back to fight another day. Okay, so I mentioned to you earlier to please pull up and look at your to look at those numbers that we referenced earlier. I'm going to get mine pulled up as well on my side. Okay, so here's some numbers for our average part-time agent with an emphasis on average. Okay, one of the things about this country, one of the things about this company that's so great is that we're metric junkies. Okay, and so we can give numbers that aren't let's just say or let's pretend, or what a lot of sales organizations do is give you numbers of people that aren't in the room, that don't exist, and if they do, they're 1 out of 50. So an average part-time agent here is going to write $6,000 a month in business on a 70% commission with a 75% carrier advance. It's an annual advance of $37,800 for a total first-year compensation when you factor in the back-end pay of $50,400. Did I mention 10 to 15 hours a week? 10 to 15 hours a week is our average part-time agent. $50,400 of total first-year compensation. And then eventually our people, they get better, right? This doesn't get easier. No, they get better, okay? And they have that opportunity to fire their boss, because they've gotten to a point where they can say, I no longer need your guarantee. I now know that I am a guarantee. And so our full-time people start working somewhere between 30 and 35 hours per week, placing somewhere between 15 and 20 sales per month. Why did I ask you to write down those numbers earlier? It's because I gave you a list of people from all walks of life, all over the country, whether you're the DiNardos in Arizona, Nate Hall in Kentucky, Luke Jackson in North Carolina, Hannah Grace right here in Ohio. Okay, you saw numbers that exceeded significantly somebody that would do 15 or 20 sales per month because we just gave you 1 week of numbers, the week after the holidays at that. So an average agent, 15 to 20 sales per month on an 85% contract. Let's take a look at those numbers. $12,750 with the back-end pay of $95.62 with an annual advance of $114,750 for a total first-year compensation of right at about $153,000. All right. What makes Symmetry different? The exclusive agency ownership program, which provides agents with everything they need to own their own business through this true contractual ownership. You have this ability to earn both time and money through a system with a system-driven income. And of course, the capability to pass on a business that you've worked hard to build to a loved one. That last one's a special one for this group, especially today. 1 year ago today, we lost one of our agency owners, a guy by the name of Jason Hayes, who lost his fight with cancer. The way that the agency ownership contract is set up is that once you earn that level, Symmetry allows you to keep it. Okay, so the business that Jason built did not go back to Symmetry, but it gets passed on to his family. If the last level of leadership is legacy, where else can you go? So what makes Symmetry different? The opportunity to build your own agency, the opportunity to go into business for yourself, but never by yourself. And as an agency builder, you make commissions every time you help an agent make a sale. And that's a big one. Every time you help an agent make a sale. As Brian told me 3.5 years ago, he said, I won't make a dime until you make a dollar. The difference between your contract level and your agents is called spread. So let's take a look at what I would call the very first step, the baby agency, the $50,000 a month agency. Personal production of about $15,000 at a 95% contract. An additional $35,000 in agency production with an average 15% spread, and of course the 75% carrier advance that never goes away. The agency owner on his or her own pen at a 95% contract level is going to be generating somewhere around $10,687.50 a month. And his or her team is going to be generating the additional $35,000, on average a 15% spread for just shy of $4,000. Advance commissions totaling about $175,500 for total first year compensation plus residual commissions plus bonuses at $234,000. If we were to add a zero on it and look at the size of an agency that was doing about $500,000 a month, $125,000 a week. At this point, the individual is not running any personal production. See, they've traded in their pen, they've traded in their insurance producer hat for a business developer role. Okay, he or she is spending his or her time identifying those business partners that are moving in the same direction and trying to find the next team. Trying to find their next team. $500,000 of agency production with an average 15% spread. And you get into this space of making more money in a month than the average American makes in a year. 56,250 times 12 months is 675,000 advance commission, 900,000 in total first year compensation plus residual commission when available. Our executive vice president and profit sharing program, the equity bonus, roughly about $19,000 per month on average, which is a bonus off in the entire company, not just your organization. See, Symmetry believe that if you can get to the top contract and then you can help somebody else get to the top contract, then you'll be able to earn a share of the company's profit. Total first year compensation is $1.1 million. For anybody that's been in the executive leadership land, don't miss that, right? Some of you out there have been in situations where your boss wanted you to do well, but not too well. Okay. Or that there was always a cap on your level at your company. You could move up, but somebody would have to pass away or get fired or retired. You could move up, but you and your family would have to move to a different part of the country. Not here. No cap. And forever, somebody that went first, who's got their hand out saying, let me help you on this ride. Best in class bonus programs, fast track bonus plus carrier kickers. Overall fast track bonus opportunity for new agents is $12,500, as well as a trip on the 2021 Symmetry destination trip. Go out and do your job well and get a bonus from our carriers for doing such. These are new. These haven't been with us, but maybe only 6 months. I can't imagine the amount of bonuses that my man Gino Locklear would have been raking in had these bonuses been in play when he started. Agent perks, protect the protector. Symmetry offers a free year of life insurance for all Symmetry agents, up to $250,000 in coverage, up to a 30-year term for those who qualify. And a My Health policy, the opportunity to obtain day-to-day and or catastrophic health coverage at a premium at half the cost of the marketplace. agent perks, trips and incentives, all expenses, paid vacations to incredible destinations worldwide, sponsored by carriers and Symmetry. One of the things about these 8 pictures is these are our pictures, right? This wasn't Google bike riding in Switzerland, and here's the picture that comes up. No, that's Brandon and Meredith right there. So if you're looking at us for the first time, let me tell you who we're looking for. Okay. This is something that I don't know if Brian came up with this, or Ayers or Sicily, but they're the 3 that I hear it the most from. Something that they call LWAC. Listen, actively listen. Take in the information from your mentor, audios, be coachable, and be a student. And the easiest thing you can do there is be on calls like this. Work hard and intelligently. Have hustle and the humility to ask how. Easiest thing you can do there is pick up the telephone. Associate, attend events, plug into everything. See, SFG is caught, it is not taught. Counsel often and disassociate with negativity. Because as Danny Young taught me about 3 years ago, he said, there are dream stealers out there. You call them friends and family. We call them dream stealers. And why? It's because they've already given up on theirs. And so they sure as hell don't want you chasing yours. Change. Be willing to change and personally develop. If we want to be different, if we want different, we're gonna have to be different. One of the songs on my run playlist is from Bradley Cooper, and the lyric on that is, maybe it's time to let the old ways die. And so what's the next step? Nearly a decade ago, he made a decision to push his chips across the table and plant his flag here at Symmetry. And one thing that I've learned is that see, a great leader is one sentence. His leadership can be so well summed up in a single sentence that you don't have to hear his name to know who's being talked about. He preserved the Union and freed the slaves. He lifted us out of a Great Depression and helped us win a world war. He had a dream. ROI in the profit sector just means return on investment, but ROI in the people sector, that means relationships, opportunities, and impact. Relationships where we know that broken people break people, but free people free people. Opportunities where what once were dreams are now realities, and impact where a ridiculous amount of people will attest to a purpose that they had that he helped light. Find someone in your life, anyone with a greater ROI than him. I would challenge you to do that. And whatever train he's on, I'm on.